Okay, so just a couple other things about half-lives and the equation and the questions before you start them. So when I originally wrote this equation, mf is equal to mi over 2 to the n, I said to you the m's were masses, but they could be other things. Sometimes in a question, it'll say the number of activities. And the activity, if you imagine, the activity is like how often a subatomic particle or radioactive particle gets thrown off. So the higher the number of activities, the more radioactive the substance is. So if it's talking about activities, then you could just do like the final rate of activity would be equal to the initial rate of the activity over 2 to the n. And then sometimes in the question it might say the counts. There's a question that says something like a Geiger counter, which is a device that measures radioactivity. So it counts how many particles are given off. So it asks you for the final count if you have the initial count after some period of time. I'm hoping that you realize that really these three equations are the same thing. It doesn't matter if we call our unknown an m, a c, or an a, or an x. It really what we're doing is we're finding the final if we know the initial and we know the number of half-lives that have passed. Okay, so don't get thrown off by if they give you a mass or if they give you the count or if they give you the activity. The one other thing is you're going to come across questions that want to know what fraction of the material would be left or what percentage. So if we take any of these three equations, we can get the fraction left. It would be, if I do the m, it would be the final mass over the initial mass, right? That would be the fraction of what was left. The initial would be the total that you had, and the mf is what you have left. And so we just brought the mi down, and on this side it leaves us with 2 to the n. So really, when it's asking for the fraction, you just rearrange this equation so that you have the final over the initial, and then you can solve for this side. And then if they want percentage, then you would multiply by 100. Okay, so there's a few questions that they don't tell you the initial, they just ask you for the fraction, so they want the ratio. Okay, so hopefully that will help you with your half-life questions.